Yeah, my name is William Barnhart, 373 McKellar Street. And since the last council meeting, I only got one bag. And the reason for that was when I was coming out my door, January the 21st, the lady was walking down my sidewalk to lay one on my porch. I said, thanks, but no thanks. I don't use it, don't want it, don't need it. And if you could never deliver one on my step again, I'd be happy. A week later, what did I have when I come from Sam's Club? The bag right there on my porch. I've emailed them, called them 9 times. I wouldn't mind picking them up and taking them to the recycling bin. Maybe if the city would put a little tax on them, I'd feel glad to take it then. But the city's only raised my taxes like they wanted to last winter on the city income tax. Charge these people a little money. They must be making a lot because they throw these baggies everywhere. And also, since I was here the last council meeting, we've had 35 accidents, 7 personal injuries. And in 5 years, there's only been 2 deers hit in the month of January. I talked to the game warden Thursday, February the 4th, asked him what the estimated deer herd was in Chillicothe city limits. Don't know. No one knows. But yet we passed an ordinance so we hunt deer to thin the herd. So if you don't know how big the herd is, how do you know when you thinned it? I don't know. But you won't pass a cell phone ordinance. That stumps me.
Thank you, Mr. Barnhart.
You're welcome.
Anybody else like to speak this evening? If not, then we will move on to old business. Anybody have any old business to bring up this evening?
I do, Mr.
Okay.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Sharp?
Mr. Arnold. After hearing Mr. Barnhart's complaint at the last council meeting, I went to what I thought the place to go was the advertiser building. And they said that's just where they bag them up. That has nothing to do with the bag that he's getting. So they give me a number, and I called it, and I think it was in Zanesville, and they assured me that he'd be taken off the delivery list. And I thought to myself, well, maybe, but maybe I ought to dig a little further. So I got another number of a office in Pickaway County, and I called them and expressed that I was on city council and I sure would like to get this problem solved. And they assured me that would be done. And I thought, well, I sure would like to talk to the person who's walking the route that lives in my town, somebody local, so I could one-on-one with them and explain, please don't drop that there. And they told me they couldn't give me that information, but they would have that route person get a hold of me. But that person never got a hold of me, and the bags are still coming. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. It is a nuisance, and it's kind of hard to work with. I will be on the phone tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. Any other old business from anybody? If not, we will move to petitions and correspondence received by the clerk. Mr. Folsom?
Mr. President, I have not received any signed letters, correspondence, or petitions to report on. Thank you.
Okay. With that report, or lack of it, I guess we will move on to new business. Mrs. Malone.
Thank you, President Arnold. At this time, I would like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Trutchell.
Okay. And Mrs. Malone has made a motion to excuse Mr. Trutchell, and Mrs. Patrick has seconded that motion. Roll call on the motion to excuse Mr. Trutchell.
Ames.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Sibrel.
Yes.
And we have excused Mr. Trutchell this evening. He had a family matter, I think. Is there any other new business? Mrs. Patrick?
Thank you,
Sorry,
President Arnold.
you're next.
I'd like to comment. I passed out to council members the nuisance abatement board report for the year 2009, last year, and I'd just like to highlight some stuff for the audience out there. The board met 7 times, and as a result of these meetings, we sent out 52 first notices of nuisance event. And of those 52 first notices, they required 7 second notices. And of the 7 second notices, 4 required that we institute the repeat service fee. And of those 4, they were just 2 properties that each got $250, so a total of $500, which will be put on the taxes for collection. During 2009, the board addressed the 53 separate properties. One was a carryover from 2007 or 2008. 8 were owner occupied, and 4 were for vacant lots, and 51 were for rental properties. And under the rental properties, we had 15 grass complaints, 13 trash, 5 were a combination of grass and trash, 5 were for junk cars, 2 were for disorderly, and 1 was for a junk car with trash. In an effort to be proactive, the board also sent property owners a copy of the Chillicothe's current dog ordinance, and that was for 2 properties. That's where neighbors complained about dogs, and the board wanted to make sure that they realized that we have an ordinance that spells out liability requirements as far as insurance, fencing, and confinement. And with that, I would like to follow with President Arnold's letter where he recommended Gary Lundy be reappointed to the board. I would like to make the motion.
Mrs. Patrick has made a motion for council to approve Mr. Lund as board member for the nuisance board, and Mrs. Malone has seconded that motion. And roll call, please.
Ames.
Yes?
Cross.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Sibrel.
Yes.
And Mr. Lund is officially part of the nuisance board at this point.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, I would just like to add that 2009 was a lot better than 2008. In 2008, we cited 20 properties for first notice. This past year was 52, so quite a bit of an increase in paperwork going out, and that's because the board members and the nuisance officer, we're all in sync now. He's got a computer program up and running. So just by the information, the numbers, the program does work.
Very good.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Lester, did you have something?
No, I was just going to recommend that the approval.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else have any more new business? Mr. Sibrel?
Yeah, sure. As a member of the Finance Committee, I met with the mayor, county commissioners, city and county auditors to discuss the Route 50 widening project last week. And out of that meeting, we'd like to have a review session with council on March 1st at 6:30 here in the council chambers to discuss the details of the Route 50 widening project and to go over any updates to date on funding as well.
Okay, very good. Any other new business?